Good morning, Bubus.
Hi, Bubus.
Mookie, get out of the shot.
It's okay.
Hope everyone's having a great morning so far. We're getting this one off a little later than usual, but we thought, again, we'd try to mix it up. So it took us a little while, a couple starts and stops. We started recording one episode while we were on a walk with Margot, and I abruptly yelled cut in my mind and just put the camera away and thought we'd try it again. I don't know, it was a little too hot for me. I was struggling to keep my cool and stay composed and also think of things to talk about because, as usual, you know me, I just like to wing things.
That's okay.
And some of oftentimes I forget that although I'm comfortable winging things, the people next to me don't know what's going on. So therefore, they may not feel as comfortable winging things along with me. And I put you in tough spots sometimes.
No,
so
I could go with the flow.
I realize that.
Yeah.
Like, you can definitely go with the flow. But in terms of putting something out like this morning show where it's going to be like online forever, like I can understand if and how you would feel a little bit reserved about just like rambling random thoughts and putting them on the internet. So
I guess I'm just not as comfortable because I just think, who wants to listen to this? But I mean, it's mostly for us.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
It is mostly for us. And the thing is, we keep doing this and people are going to watch it and they're going to enjoy it. And I came to this realization. I came home one night. This is when you were out of town. I came home and I smoked some Dimitri.
Okay.
And I was like, when I was coming down after the Dimitri, I also had a video on. It was a podcast by Craig Jones, and he was talking with like some other people. And I was watching this thing, and I came to realize, I was like, it does not matter what the content of what people are saying. Like, you think it does, and they're just saying words, and therefore you think you're getting like specific information about them or from them. But I don't know. I just came to this like thought, and I was like, we're just like birds, where we think words have specific meanings, but those meanings are just like in our heads. And like, birds have songs, like people have songs, they just sound like words. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like, I was like, I'm just watching these people on my TV, they're just making noise.
Yeah.
And I'm still watching it even though I can't understand what they're saying because I was under the influence. But I don't know, it was just like as long as you put stuff out there and you just like, it's like honest and like true, whatever it is that you're saying, it's going to connect.
Right. It's the act of creating, which I think it's so important for people because it's so easy to be like, there's so many people creating. I'm just going to like consume. And I do, I don't feel like I don't consume as much now. There are definitely times where I go through just, what's it called? Functional phases. Okay. Where all you can do is just scroll and consume.
Scroll,
but it was bad at one point. I want to say bad. I don't think it was bad, but I realized I was doing it.
Yes.
It was a pattern. And so, although it's not easy to be in front of a camera, I think the hardest part is monitoring our videos after we've posted.
Yeah.
I don't like to see myself.
You don't have to. I know I put it on like the TV, so you don't really get a choice.
Yeah, but I think it's good to see it because it helps you, especially if we're going to continue to do this. I like this. It's been good to see how I guess, speak and present myself. And to work on that, because I think that's important too.
It is.
For me, at least, to get over. To get over being in front of the camera and filming in this kind of way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So creating, yeah.
Yes, I love that, and I think what you said is exactly right. Like the consumption versus creation, it almost becomes this thing though. Like I don't know. I feel like once by default we're all consumers. Like we all have smartphones. There are apps, and like the easiest thing to do is just start scrolling, tapping, following, liking, commenting, all those things, because you're interacting with the phone and with the application, you feel like you're somehow contributing to it. But I feel like you were saying, you just get stuck in the mode of consuming things, and I feel like to consume without creating is a really slippery slope into getting into some weird places of feeling like powerless and helpless with everything.
Right.
And I think there is a sense of agency that a lot of people, like a lot of the complaints that you hear about, like people making about Gen Z and them not going out and socializing and being outgoing, like I believe that's probably related to the fact that they were born with the smartphones and that habit, or just a pattern of behavior where you're just like interacting with the device, that's becoming ingrained in them, and that's comfortable for them. So that's why that's why they're doing it. My concern, although it's just a concern, I'm not saying they're doing anything wrong. My concern though is that they're growing up in these habits of just consuming, and there's not enough creating, and it's just going to create a lot of sickness and difficulty.
Yeah. No. I think everyone should be creative, and that not just saying you have to do something creative.
Yeah.
Just be creative. And being creative is just how you do things.
Exactly.
So it could just be like how you
literally,
like wash the dishes, or our friend used to make videos of how he would load the dishwasher. That's being creative.
Yep.
It's not having to do something artistic or something crazy or eye-catching. It's just putting something out there. And even remember when Facebook first got on, and it came on when I want to say like right before maybe my senior year of high school.
Yeah.
So I got it when I went to college. But do you remember that time from I want to say like 2006 to like maybe like 2010,
okay,
maybe 11. You just post it, like you have your digital camera, you take it out at night, you take like 100,000 photos, and then you upload them all into an album on Facebook. And everyone did that. And sometimes you're like, God damn, like, don't tag me, or some days we're just like, you wake up the next morning and you go and you just like untag everything. But just the fact that like we were more, I don't know if it has to do with the time or just the age of being in your early 20s and just putting everything out there.
Yeah.
And you're just constantly doing it. Everyone's doing it. You're commenting. You're saying. But now I feel like I've gone through the phase, and I feel like a lot of people have gone through the phase where they're just more secretive.
Yeah.
Not even secretive, just like not as.
They're more guarded.
Yeah, maybe. I'm like kind of cautious to even use that word, because I don't think. Well, I guess guarded against what? They're just having an internet presence, which sometimes I understand there's privacy issues and stuff like that, but I feel like it's changed so much in that way. And I always tell friends like what I would want to tell myself, just like post stuff. Like I want to see, like it doesn't have to be something miraculous or like like, oh my gosh, like influencers. You just do it.
Right.
Like just do it. Like you have a point of view, and sometimes I'm not forcing someone to do it. Clearly, if you are against it and you don't want to do it, you're uncomfortable, that's fine. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people want to share. But instead of sharing, they're just bashing on other people that are sharing. So like, what is it?
And they consider that a form of
yeah. So
which is a reaction, less so much a creation.
Yes.
That is one thing that, as we are on this journey of getting started, putting ourselves out there, I wanted to make sure that everything that we're putting out there is as authentic and genuine about us as possible, and that we don't turn ourselves into a couple of, these got the boom. Like I don't want to turn into the boom guys from the Costco boom, the Costco guys, like the boom meter. I don't want to get into any of that corny stuff in terms of clickbait.
No, we're
just getting, because this is not, for us, this is a creative act.
Yeah, it's just not like a journal, really. It could go the other way, but I don't think we have it in us. We would burn out so fast.
Absolutely. I get sick thinking about turning this into an ad.
Yeah.
Granted, we do talk about business on here, but it's not.
If someone would like to sponsor us,
we're not
and you
against
have a great product, I will do it.
I'm not
it would help
supporting.
I don't mind doing that kind of stuff because it would support our mission and further our mission.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
But I'm willing to share, our lives. That's fine. I'm not naysaying it, but we're not doing it with that intention.
Right. Our intention is to be the change we want to see in the world. On the internet, you see all the BS that we were just talking about. All that stuff is already out there. We want to be the stuff that is not that. We want to be us putting out our message of love and unity for each other and for the rest of the world. And we have the opportunity to do it, so we're doing it. Minny, let's transition to what it is that you wanted to talk about today. So we went to Last Chance a couple days ago. And for those of you who don't know, Last Chance is it's essentially an overstock and returns outlet for Nordstrom's. So all the stuff that goes into the Nordstrom's department stores that's sold online, that is, either overstocked, meaning they didn't sell it and they are running out of room in their storage spaces, or people have bought these things and then returned them. They send all those products to Last Chance outlets, of which there are only 2 in the United States. One in Oak Brook, Illinois, which is the one that we go to.
Is that Oak Brook or that's Lombard?
Oh, Lombard. Yeah. So Lombard, Illinois, and the other one is in...
I think Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
So there are these 2 outlets where, to be quite honest, I feel like a big part of how it is we ended up doing what it is that we're doing had to do with the fact that there was a Last Chance super close to us, and we went there and found tons of good deals. But we went there a couple days ago and things looked a little bit different. Can you tell us about what we saw?
This store, I think they opened, I want to say 7 or 8 years ago. Definitely before we moved back.
Definitely.
And when we would come back for the holidays, it would be the thing on my list. And I jokingly had said I would move back just for that store. Okay.
Moved back from New York.
From New York.
Yeah.
And but it is the store where if it weren't for that store, I don't think I would be able to own half the things that I do own, very nice designer things.
As what?
What do you mean?
Give me an example of something.
Everything from clothing to shoes up to that own.
Give me an example of an item of clothing that you got from there.
It's hard to just say one, but I got an amazing Dries Van Noten coat.
Okay.
I got a couple actually.
All right.
I've probably bought from not almost every designer, but almost every. How do I explain this? I've bought from many different things, but I'm gonna say the 3 big brands that I've bought from was my favorite.
Specifically
brand.
At Last Chance.
Yeah, my favorite brand is Simone Rocha, Dries Van Noten, and Comme des Garçons.
Okay.
And
you were able to find pieces from all those brands.
Right, that were either in season or maybe one season or 2 seasons off. And how I was able to get them for so cheap is that how this store works is that Sunday through Thursday, they have 50% off the color tag. So they have yellow, blue, purple, green, orange, pink. And then on Friday and Saturdays is when those tags go 80%.
80% off?
Yes, 80% off. So when we had first moved back here in 2018, I would go there often. And it was still pretty under the radar.
Yeah, big time.
And my brother and I would go there so often, and he's pretty sociable, so we made friends with some ladies that would always be there. And we would help each other. Like, basically what you would do is go either Thursday night and like hide your, like a lot of people would hide their items.
Like hide them.
They would take, like, say it's a woman's jacket, they would hide it in like the men's, in the men's suiting, because they used to have a huge area of men's suiting, so they would hide things like in the jackets or whatever.
That's so smart.
But sometimes, the workers, they would catch on, so they would put them back. But here's the thing, like, I didn't really hide stuff because I knew no one was really buying the things that I was looking at, because they're just kind of like a little like out there.
Okay.
I bought a lot of statement pieces. And so I don't even know where I was going with this, but yeah. So that's how I got all the stuff, and
and those are your memories of Last Chance,
just
like
amazing. Just like not as much competition. And yeah, the ladies, a group of ladies that we had there, like we would help each other, like, oh, like whatever. And then I did one time. My greatest purchase there was I got this Comme des Garçons, like sculptural pleated. I think it's like a one-piece dress. It's very has interesting shape.
You have photos of it?
I don't know if I have photos of it. I think I might have a photo of it that we shot for a shoot. But I was there one day and looking through the racks, and like just across from me were these two girls, and they're just talking. These two ladies, and she pulls this thing, and I see the pleats on it. And I was like, oh my gosh, what is that? And I was like, put that back down, put that back down, put that back down. She puts it back down. I run over, I look at it, and I'm like, oh my God. Because it could have been like, there's a lot of like knockoffs or like inspired brands that they carry at like department stores and stuff. So I thought that maybe it was that. But then I was feeling it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is different. And I'm like looking, oh my gosh, looking for the tags. I'm like, it's Comme des Garçons. I'm like, oh my gosh, how much is this? They had priced it for $16.
What?
And this is like maybe like over $2,000 piece, maybe closer to $3,000. And I'll never forget the feeling that took over my whole body. Like, oh my God. I'm like looking around, and I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, no one knows what I just freaking pulled out from this thing, and I'll always have fond memories of that. But I have memories of that, but then also at the same time, it's like silly because it's so materialistic. Yeah. But I'm just like, but I'm also someone that is just a treasure hunter. So to be able to find that was amazing. But that's just one of the things that I found so many amazing things. I've paid at least 90% and above off the price. Yeah. And so, anyways, to bring it all back, we were at the store recently, and I have not been going in the last few years. It's just get overwhelming because
there are so many people there.
So many people, and that's fine. I'm really glad people are getting.
It's very picked over.
It's very picked over. It's kind of turned into like, I have to tell you, like some of the prices that you can get, it's cheaper than the thrift store. And sometimes they're new with the tags on. Yeah. If you can get it off on an 80% off day. And they would have bins of like any boots, $6, $5.97. It's just it's crazy, but it's just gotten to a point where, people, there's a lot of emotions with this kind of stuff, and people do get very emotional getting into fights. They're like running, and they're like, don't run, and like, it lost the magic for me, but I just knew that it still was a great source of finding things for really cheap or for a good price. And so this last time being there, it just was not what it was once was. It's just gone through just to see, I don't know if you can, it's just, I've seen all the variations of what it's evolved to, and then it's evolved to what it is now, and for some reason it just made me a little sad.
What did you see?
So it was just like, when they first started, there was no designer section. It was just literally, it's out there, find it. So,
if there's something designer that's in, and it's a women's designer dress, for example, it's just going to be in the women's section.
And then, like in the women's dress, and like my brother and I used to play this fun game because I used to be able to find things. And he'd be like, magic show, and I'd be like, and
find an awesome piece,
and then slowly it started. I want to say like before the pandemic, they used to start doing this thing where even for like designer shoes, they would have a big rack of it, and they would have to get in line, and they would give you like a minute.
To
I
go
felt like I was on
through
like a
and,
freaking
look at
TV show,
yeah.
and then you have to like pick it and like buy it on the spot. And they did that for a while, and then eventually they created like this designer section, which kind of annoyed me at first because I'm like, okay, now it's more guarded now. You can't just find it.
Right.
And so they did that for a while. You have to wait in line, and they had all these rules. Like you can only buy like one designer clothing item, one designer accessory at a time, and one shoe.
Yeah.
You get to pick between one of those, but you can go back. Just a lot of craziness. But that's how it was. And then this last time that we went, it was just like there was no even
Designer section.
there was
section. Like one rack.
Like one rack. It was so sad. I don't know.
And on top of that, like huge swaths of the store like had empty
Something's
racks.
happening, yeah.
Something's happening. Everything looked to me as though the store was about to close.
I think they are about to close, yeah.
And there were, in addition to everything being empty, we saw a bunch of employees there for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't understand
Ton
how
of
or why.
employees.
Maybe they're doing it to help employees, and none of the employees that we used to see either. Like
Yeah.
a lot of the old school employees are not there
Yeah.
anymore. So
don't-
these are just like temp workers, maybe.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. But then, yeah, it was just sad. And I saw these two ladies walk in, and one of the ladies has never been there before. And the friend was explaining it to her. And she was like, oh, and I was just, and that made me sad because I was like, this is,
You have
like,
no idea, lady.
you have no idea. Like, this is your first time. Like, yeah, if it's your first time, then you don't know what it used to be. It's fine. But it's just like, half the racks are empty.
Half the racks are
Like,
empty. The stuff that's left over is not great.
No.
The prices aren't even as good as they used to be.
So I don't know what's going on, and it just, a part of me when I was there, I was sad because it was just felt like a chapter was ending. Something that I thought I knew so well was so different. But then on the other hand, I did feel silly. Like I was just like, I felt a little silly too. So it was just like a lot of mixed emotions. But I think another thing is, at the end of the day, it doesn't affect me greatly.
Yeah.
But it's just saying bye to a source that I relied on for so long, and it's not there. And it made me think, oh, will I continue? I mean, I have been buying secondhand designer items like online now for a while, and I do get some good prices once in a while, but they're not as great as this store. But there are actually other stores that I would be happy to share for people to shop at.
Okay.
Segueing, I guess, to stop talking about that. But there's a store called UAL, and it stands for United Apparel
Liquidators.
And they're this
Where are they
one
located?
family. I don't know where their headquarters is. I don't know if it's Memphis. It's all in the South.
Locations in Nashville.
They have 3 stores in Nashville. They have a store in Memphis, another store in
Austin that we went
Austin, but another store around there that's in a even smaller,
to. Town. Okay.
southern town. And then they have one in Houston, and there's this family. They've been doing it for I don't even know how long, maybe close to 40, 50 years, maybe. And they go to either, I think, brands or department stores, and they buy their overstock.
Okay.
And the prices start at 75% off.
Yeah.
Okay. And then from there, they just keep slashing it until it sells. And what I really love about their ethos and is that they could be. They're like, why do you have stores in bigger cities, like New York or whatever? But they choose to be in these smaller towns, I think, because they want to bring these clothes to people that might not know the brands. So the whole point of shopping this place is just to buy amazing items without knowing what the brand is.
I see.
And that's why.
Would it be considered? It's a boutique.
Yeah, they set it up like
they have specific areas for certain brands or types.
Yeah, it's all probably mixed. So they have a dresses section. They have a shoe. They have a great. If you're really into designer,
right.
I would definitely check. They have an online store, shop UAL, and they have weekly sales. I haven't shopped from them in a while just because I'm not really shopping. But I would have to say they're probably the next best. Them and then another. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say their name on Instagram. I don't know because I think they're kind of picky with who follows.
Oh, okay.
Or you can't just follow them. You have to request. But there's another person who basically does what UL does, but they do it on a personal level. So they're just personal shopping, and they have great relationship with all the sales associates. So they go around during clearance times and just grab everything. And I just don't know how they sell it for so
just tell
cheap,
people.
but I don't know how they're making any money. But they're called Maison RTW.
Maison RTW. I'll
And
put that on the screen.
And so yeah, if you're into that kind of stuff, I would highly recommend that.
Cool.
Yeah. Anyways, I feel like I blabbed on way too much, but
thank you for
it's just
sharing.
like whenever I talk about Last Chance, like I've been like, ever since I went there, I've been telling people about it, and I feel like a lot of people didn't listen to me, or some people are just not into that kind of shopping, so it's very overwhelming.
Yeah.
But yeah, RIP, or I don't know if it's RIP yet, if it's too soon, but you know what? We had quite a ride.
And, you know, there's an old, I think it's a Zen saying, like, no man steps in the same river twice. So even though you had, you know, we're not discounting the wonderful times that you had at Last Chance, but those wonderful moments were the result of you and Last Chance intersecting at that specific point in time back in the past.
Yeah.
And for us to harbor feelings about that same intersection not feeling or looking or anything the same is to be expected.
Yeah. Just things change.
Yeah.
So much has changed and everything.
Yep. Things change.
Yeah. But yeah, that's my little Last Chance story.
Well, thank you very much for sharing it with us.
Thank you for letting me share. I feel better just to like,
oh yeah.
Just like, that's how I was feeling.
Yeah.
Even though it's like kind of silly, but
no, that's great.
That's how I feel.
Better than, you know, those feelings going unaddressed and just like getting stuck and feeling weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And
if you want to buy anything from Last Chance, come to our shop.
Yeah.
'Cause I do have some stuff.
Yeah, we have some Last Chance stuff directly from Last Chance. But yeah, so check out our store at bubufuture.com. We also have our eBay promo going on. Help us get out of eBay jail. We are still technically in eBay jail. We need a few more sales just to get out of there. We have an eBay store. The name of the store is just Bubu Future. Once we'll put the link in the description below, but the promotion is whatever you buy from our eBay store, you can get 20% off your entire order if you use the promo code MorningBubu. And the promo code is all one word, MorningBubu, and it's valid through July 20th. So a couple more weeks. And yeah, guys, please take advantage and get some good deals off of our stuff from our eBay store. So with that being said, thank you very much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.